Hey guys, today I will be giving a kit guide to those who are struggling to play Kit properly and not knowing how to exploit both his forms, support and assassin. I will be going over his builds, his gadgets, star powers, hypercharges, gears, and even the optimal game modes to play him in. So first, let's get into this guide. Kit has 6,200 HP, and his movement speed is very fast. His first main attack, called Claws a nearby enemies in a clone and pierces enemies. It does 2,000 damage with a short range and reloads and unloads very fast. Unloads means the time it takes for his attack to land or damage an enemy. His super is called Carry Me. He jumps and attaches to the back of another brawler. It can heal allies and damage enemies over time. It does 2,000 damage and has a normal range. His other main attack is called Yarn Balls. It throws exploding yarn balls while attached to a friendly brawler. It does 3,200 damage with a long range, but the reload speed is slow. So, let me show you what his main attack looks like first. It's just a cat scratch. That's it. And it does 2,000 damage. And this is actually a very good main attack for auto-aiming. And his super
Feline Frenzy
does not work in the training
Gotta go
grounds.
lick myself.
So I'm going to have to show you that in a mode like Brawl Ball. Because that's where that's where I can show you. It's not to be Brawl Ball, but still, I just want to show you the game modes. Super.
Cat's out of the bag.
So here's just
Let's go!
gameplay with
Gotta start running out of lives.
Maybe I should turn off sound effects so that you can hear better.
Thrilled to be here. Really.
So, ignore sounds. Oh, I just missed my entire super. Anyways, I'm only doing this because Kit's super doesn't work in the training grounds. Otherwise, I'd be showing you his abilities in the training grounds, like I would do with any other brawler. So let me show you. His super stuns the enemy and does 2,000 damage with poison damage of 250 for 2 ticks. So this can actually be very useful for enemies who have about 3,000 HP because you can easily clean them up with another main attack,
Crying cat face.
which is easy like that. His super stuns, by the way, for 1.5 seconds. And, yeah. But his other super attaches to the back of an enemy brawler, and this is what his other main attack looks like. So let's see his regular super again,
Was this ever fun?
and his other super. So if you don't understand his other super, it just attaches to the back of a brawler, which means that Kit is completely immobile and relies on his teammate to move so that he can move. This is especially good because Kit cannot be damaged while in this form. So it basically means 3 attackers but only 2 targets when you're playing 3v3 modes. Or 4 attackers, or 4 targets but 5 attackers, which can be really exploited
Don't
for
start believing.
good plays. So now let's get into his gadgets, star power, hypercharge, and gears. So his first gadget, called Cardboard Box, means he hides in a cardboard box, becoming invisible for 3 seconds. It charges super 100% faster while not moving. The cooldown is 23 seconds. So this can be used to just sneak up on someone, use a few attacks, and super them to instantly clean them up off the map. His second gadget is called Cheeseburger. It heals himself and the friendly brawler he's attached to for 30%. The cooldown is 15 seconds. So this could be used if you want to play Kit more as a support, but honestly, I don't see how this gadget could have any use, since the other one charges your super faster while stationary. So, Overly Attached is his second star power. Kit attaches to friendly brawlers for 5 seconds longer, which means it increases the time attached to a friendly brawler from 8 seconds to 13 seconds, which can be very useful in modes like Gem Grab, Brawl Ball, and Bounty. For his first star power, it's actually called Power Hungry. Kit gains 150% power from each power cube. So instead of getting 100% power, 100% power, he gains 150% power from each power cube, which means his damage increases by 15% and so does his HP, much unlike the regular 10%. So his hypercharge is called Making Biscuits, which charges in 17 claws or 9 yarn balls. His super is getting buffed with this hypercharge because Kit's super stuns the enemy, but he can still move and attack normally. As you could see, when I used my regular super on an enemy brawler, it stunned the enemy, but also I could not move. So keep in mind that whenever Kit uses his super, he becomes completely immobile. So attaching to teammates will heal them more, and his yarn balls have longer range. So Kit normally heals his teammates for 15%, and with the hypercharge, it makes them heal 20%. So since hypercharges last like 5 seconds, I think, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. So the healing buff is the healing buff only lasts for the duration of the hypercharge, but the yarn ball range lasts the duration of Kit's super. Normally the super would end much sooner before the hypercharge ends, but with overly attached, you can actually make use of his longer range, and yeah. So now let's get into builds. Kit's main build should be Cardboard Box, Shield, and Damage. You might want to go with Gadget Cooldown and Damage. Since Kit has a lot of ways to heal, you could go with Gadget Cooldown to decrease the Gadget Cooldown by 15%, which means that could go from 23 seconds to 19 seconds. But honestly, Shield and Damage is better. But if you want to be a support or just be an assassin in a showdown or whatever, you should use the Gadget Cooldown here. So now let's get into the game modes he shines in. So I'd say for showdown, his best map has to be Feast or Famine, because if you choose his Power Hungry star power, he's good on low elo matches because he could just rush instantly through the middle. Since every match is a bot match until 200 trophies, Kit can really shine in Feast or Famine. Since there's like a whole stash of cubes in the middle, you could just collect all the cubes and become an absolute monster. See, I already have 4 power cubes and I'm dealing so much more damage. 3,200 per hit exactly. And now, since there's cubes scattered around the map too, Kit can be really good in maps like Feast or Famine with cluttered and scattered cubes. So as you can see, you could just instantly clean up a mazy like that with a few power cubes. But here's a trick I like to do. So, if you ever see an enemy brawler,
Waited all my 9 lives for this moment.
once you jump on the enemy brawler, spam Cardboard Box so that you'll charge half of your super before latching off. Usually only charges about 25% when you latch on. But with the Cardboard Box trick, another hit could get you a quarter of your super. As you can see, that hit just gave me half of my super back. So I'd say solo showdown, Kit is an A-tier brawler. But with all these aggressive brawlers in the meta, Kit won't be so good in showdown anymore as he can be easily countered, especially his OP hypercharge. So now let's get into Brawl Ball. Maps like Pinhole Punt, and Pinball Dreams are where Kit shines. So as you could see, a map like Sneaky Fields wouldn't be too good for him because there's a lot of bushes. And although Kit can be used as an assassin, he could also be used as a support artillery hybrid. So basically, if you ever want to use Kit, use him in mid-bushy maps. So that it's better, because with bushy maps, you'll find a lot of bush campers like Bull, Shelly, yeah, brawlers like that. So anyway, a map like Pinball Dreams would be perfect for Kit. Not too much bushes, open space in the middle, and let's see how this plays out. So, these aren't too... The enemy team is actually going to be easy to counter because we have a Rosa on our team. Since we have the Rosa on our team, that means we can heal her for much more with our support super, which is why Kit is good with brawlers like Daryl, who have great supers. Kit is good with tanks who have good supers, especially brawlers like Damien, who are just like a tap and hit kind of brawler. He's also good with brawlers like, yeah, Rosa, because Rosa has a great shield and, yeah.
Meow. Sorry, got caught up
So
in
now-
my claws.
Ignore that. So now, I can use a super, his gadget, to charge an easy super.
Physical.
So with the trick I showed you, spam cardboard box,
What a catastrophe.
keep in mind that if Kit is defeated while latched onto an enemy brawler, Kit's
That's out of the
Kit's
bag.
stun actually gets... Kit's stun doesn't actually stop.
Feline frenzy. You are gonna cry, aren't you? Feline frenzy. Gonna start running out of lives.
Okay, first of all, I'm gonna turn off sound effects. This is getting annoying. So anyway, Brawl Ball, he would be a B- tier pick, because since there's a lot of tanks and brawlers who are good in Brawl Ball, actually it just makes him kind of obsolete in Brawl Ball. But in modes like Super Ball, I think he could be good. With the upcoming new Brawl Ball mode with the Adidas collab, can actually help him shine, because in Super Ball you can use charge shots, and charge shots can be thrown to damage brawlers, as you see in the Brawl Talk. So if you use a charge shot, which does knockback, and then Kit Super, you can actually do a total of 4,000 damage, which can hard counter brawlers like, I don't know, Damien, if he doesn't have his knockback main attack ready. So now let's move on to Gem Grab. Maps like Gem Fort, he's great. Hard Rock Mine, he's also great. Deathcap Trap, he's also great. He's not at all good in Gem Grab, but in open Gem Grab maps, he kind of sucks. So in maps like Gem Fort, he is perfect. In maps like Hard Rock Mine, he is even better, because there's a lot of bushes on the lanes, which means that Kit can get an easy elimination with his gadget. So now you could just... So as you were seeing me playing Brawl Ball, you might have noticed that I latched off before my Yarn Ball landed. That's because the Yarn Ball charges more super than his Claws attack, because it does more damage, right? And that can only mean one thing. If you ever latch onto a teammate, you can use 2 Yarn Balls, and just before they explode, on latch you'll get another super to stun them. And this could keep pressure building with other pressure building on the other team. So tips and tricks that I'd recommend is spamming cardboard box when you're latched onto a solo enemy brawler. So Kit's support farm and hypercharge is actually good for getting the gem carrier. Which is why, if you're ever playing Kit, you should not be the gem carrier. Although his support form negates all damage for 13 seconds with a star power, it actually does have a better use for Gem Grab. Locked in. Anyways, so as you could see, his Hypercharge. I'm going to use his Hypercharge support form. So as you could see, he has a much longer range and heals for so much more, while his Yarn Balls have such a long range. So there is this kit bug where the Yarn Ball kind of just floats. So anyways, back to Gem Grab. He's actually a great pick for Gem Grab. I'd say B tier for Gem Grab. He is great. So what about Hot Zone? Same case with Gem Grab. Bush maps on the lanes, not too open center. Just like... Kit's not really good in Hot Zone at all, actually. But in maps like Playmaker assassins actually shine there. And since Kit is kind of a hybrid assassin, you could play him in maps like Playmaker. But I'm not going to play him in Playmaker because as an experienced Kit player with Prestige 2, please don't play him in Hot Zone. He really sucks in Hot Zone. So Knockout. This is his S tier game mode. Maps like Flaring Phoenix, Bell's Rock, Gold Arm Gulch, all the Knockout maps basically have bushy lanes, which means you could easily start an attack with Kit, with his gadget and super, and even his Hypercharge. So I'm going to play a match of Knockout since, well, to just showcase his abilities once more if you didn't get them. So, you should just, like, bush camp in the start of Knockout rounds, but then, like, attack low health brawlers. So, here's actually a trick that you can do with Kit. So, if you're ever just struggling to charge super, use the Yarn Ball trick and use Cardboard Box instantly. Because it is great for it's great for charging super and great for charging Hypercharge too, because since the Yarn Ball charges Hyper in 9 hits, you could basically get an insane boost on your Hypercharge. So now Bounty. He's not necessarily good in Bounty, but in maps like Layer Cake, see how there's bushes on the lanes, and the middle isn't too open. Perfect for Kit. Perfect. So, this map can actually be used by a lot of supports and assassins, but Kit is great here because you could just bush camp, gadget, attack 3 times. And if you're ever low on HP, just jump on a teammate and you'll get a healing boost, while still applying pressure to the enemy team and charging half your super back with 1 Yarn Ball. So don't always use this trick. You should really learn to utilize his support form before getting used to this trick. See if you're ever low on health or getting very pressured by the enemy. Also, damage gear does apply to his support form, but that's only if you're like 1 HP and jumping on a teammate and then instantly throw a Yarn Ball. See how I just automatically unlatch when the countdown is over? That's because the 13 seconds passed by. So, honestly, for those of you who think Kit is no skill, he's kind of hard to play. You just see easy kills because this is a bot match, but in real matches over 500 trophies, he's not a very good brawler. Overall, he'd be something like, I don't know, A tier pick because tanks are really getting their meta back. So, for the last mode, Heist, it's the same thing as Hot Zone. He doesn't really have any good ways to play Heist. Have you heard about Juan Carlos, who got like, I don't know, 0 to 11 in Heist? That's because he was playing an open map with an open middle, which is one of the biggest mistakes when playing Kit. Also, don't play him in maps that are too bushy, because that'll just make him a free supercharge. So by the time you've actually found the heist safe, just start scratching like a maniac. Honestly, that's the best thing you could ever do with Kit in Heist. Just keep attacking the safe while jumping onto teammates. If you're ever lucky enough to get randoms who are playing tanks, that's going to be very good for you. Because Kit can heal tanks a lot. And with tanks that can go over water with their super or gadgets, they can actually just, be easily exploited. There's a glitch with Kit that can allow Daryl and Allie to go over water while still keeping the heal buff. So, overall, with the tricks that I used, you can charge an easy hypercharge. If you're ever struggling with that, just use his support form more often before you get into his hypercharge. Because once you get his hypercharge, that's when you start playing completely aggro. So, don't use his cardboard box like it's Lily's Vanish gadget. Use it on unexpected and lanes with cover, basically. So, pretty much do not use Kit's cardboard box gadget, when you know that you're going to be easily spotted by enemy brawlers. Targets like B are kind of weak against Kit because they have low HP and DPS. So honestly, Kit is good for targeting throwers. So if you're ever struggling against tanks, if you're ever struggling in a match and there's a thrower, target the thrower and put pressure on him the most. Because that's basically how you're going to be able to get easy kills and dominate in a match. As you can see, I got 8-7 in Heist with Kit because I know how to play him. So overall, we went over his build, his optimal game modes, and his optimal build. So one more thing, I just want to go over all the tips and tricks that you can use with Kit. So the first trick that we went over is throw a yarn ball, latch off, and use cardboard box gadget, which will charge full super eventually. So the second trick is to use super on a thrower because they're weak targets against Kit. It's mainly just to kill 100% of the time. So another trick is when using Water Walker brawlers, Kit can actually get a free hypercharge with them. Because if you ever see like some Angela or Shade water camping, use your super on them. Because you basically just get kicked out of the water and just get a free stun while you're just moving and attacking normally as Kit. Same thing with the support form. If the teammate goes over water, he keeps the healing buff. Just like how if an enemy goes over water and you super on them, they keep the stun. So that's all you need to know about Kit. Thank you for watching this video and tell me what I can improve about my future videos, and have a great day playing Kit.